So Jake Paul has publicly declared that he has agreed to fight Tommy Fury in the UK in February, and he has given Frank Warren 7 days to deliver a signed contract. So I guess he's using Frank Warren or even the Fury's tactics against them, giving them a taste of their own medicine because, of course, they like setting deadlines. And by the way, I had no issue necessarily with them setting a deadline for the AJ fight because I do think that Eddie Hearn and Team AJ were dragging their heels. And ultimately, I think they didn't really want it. AJ was talked out of that fight, I think, by whoever is around him. In any case, it's just funny to see deadlines being imposed upon Frank Warren in the Fury camp because that's what they have been doing to other people of late. Now, this fight between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury has always been something I've been interested in. Jake Paul is, of course, this social media star, and a lot of people don't like him. He's a very divisive individual. But from a neutral perspective, because I'm not some Jake Paul fan, right? I'm just looking at him as, when I'm watching his fights, I'm assessing him the same way I'd assess any novice. And I have to be honest, he does have some talent. As I said in a previous video, if I looked at that guy in an amateur gym and saw the way he's moving around and the technique he has and the punching, I'd be like, you know what, this guy's got some potential here. I'm not saying he's going to be the next superstar and all-time great in boxing, but he's definitely got some potential. So that's the way I look at him. Same goes for Tommy Fury. Even though he's been on Love Island and people accuse him of just being a pretty boy and a model and all this kind of stuff, I think he's got some potential as well. Now, when I say potential, I don't know how far that potential will take him. He never had an extensive amateur background, had, I think, what was it, 10, 15 fights or something like that in the amateurs. I forget the exact number. But he's athletic. He seems well coordinated. He's pretty fast. So I'm going to give him a chance as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to write Tommy Fury or Jake Paul off. Oh, they're totally rubbish and they can't do anything. No, I'm going to give them a chance and see how they progress as people who don't have much of an amateur background. The fact they want to fight each other is what makes it so well, let me say the fact they want to fight each other in, I should really put brackets around that, right? I should really put question mark at the end of that, should I say? Because some people believe that Tommy Fury has pulled out of the Jake Paul fight several times, not for unforeseen circumstances, but because there's some doubt in Tommy Fury's mind. Some people believe this. I'm not saying that's the case, but I know some of you guys do believe that's the case, that Tommy Fury isn't as confident as he makes out. Now, other people think that Tommy Fury is boxing just so that he can stay in the limelight and just so he can make some easy money in these exhibitions, because his last fight was basically just an exhibition, and that he's not serious about the sport. There are also people who say that he's just fighting to appease his dad, because his dad, John, wasn't there to build Tyson Fury from, his first fight all the way up to world championship. He spent time in prison, and of course, Tyson was trained by John's brother Peter, who he's apparently estranged from right now, and also Huey, who is another brother of John's who died, and of course he had his time with Ben Davison, and now with Javon Sugar Hill, or Sugar Hill Stewart as he's now known. So maybe he never got to be the hands-on trainer, the main trainer for Tyson the way that he wanted to be, because John Fury is somebody who likes the limelight, clearly. With Tommy Fury, perhaps he sees that as his chance, or he wants that to be his chance. This is what some people believe is the true motive behind Tommy Fury's career in boxing. It's just a vanity project for John Fury. That's what some people believe. Now, there's another possibility in my mind, and that is that Tommy Fury is trying to prove himself to his brothers, and maybe even his dad, but particularly his brothers. I saw a video which somebody posted in the Element group a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, it might have been a few months ago. And the video was of Shane Fury. And Shane was asked about how his brothers are doing. Tyson is Shane's brother, and he's got several other brothers. And when they asked about Tommy, Shane kind of like dismissed it and said, no. There's me, there's Tyson, and he named the other brothers and left Tommy out. It was almost as if he was saying that Tommy isn't his brother, which I found, a little odd, but hey, I don't know the ins and outs of their family. Was there some ambiguity or question mark over the paternity when it comes to Tommy? And maybe, I don't know, Shane felt like John Fury was being led up the garden path by Tommy's mama. I don't know. I just found it strange the way that Shane acted in that interview when he was asked about Tommy Fury being his brother. So, and these days it seems as though he is acknowledged as one of the Fury brothers, but I do get the sense that he wants to prove himself to them. And I suspect that's at least part of the motivation for why Tommy's fighting. So, anyway, all that aside, the Jake Paul fight is something I'm interested in. They're two young guys. They're both athletic. Jake Paul has shown some power in his career. Some people would say he's shown more power than Tommy Fury. I think they're at a similar level in terms of, they're at a similar level in terms of experience. Not the exact same level, but a similar level. And in terms of ability, some people might argue Jake Paul has shown more. Some people could argue Tommy Fury has shown more. When you put two guys like this in against each other, it normally makes for a good fight. And that's why I want to see it. These guys aren't so novice-y that there would be a complete lack of technique in there if they fought each other. No, they both have a decent level of technique. For novices, they do. So, and I'm sure if either man lands clean on the other guy's chin, that they can hurt each other. So this is something I'm interested in. I hope the fight happens. From what I've seen as an outsider looking in, Jake Paul has bent over backwards to try and make the fight happen. And he's been very accommodating to the Furies. But again, for whatever reason, Tommy Fury has had to pull out several times and it hasn't gone ahead. And they talk all this smack about Jake Paul, but Jake Paul is not the one who caused the fight not to happen several times. So it's a little perplexing that the Furies carry on like this when Jake Paul has clearly been keen on this fight. And he even extended an olive branch to Tommy Fury at one stage after he pulled out last time, I think it was, where he said that, I think he said he'd fight Tommy Fury in the UK if Tommy Fury's willing to take, was it $500,000? Something like that. I think it was $500,000, like 500 grand. Bear in mind, Tommy Fury in some of his recent fights has been paid like 11 grand, 12 grand. So why on earth wouldn't you take it? Especially if Jake Paul is serious about moving on and not giving Tommy Fury the opportunity again. Maybe they felt he wasn't serious, and in which case, if he wasn't serious, then perhaps it was good that they didn't take the fight. But again, what is Tommy Fury hoping to achieve in his career? Does he want to go on and actually be a serious boxer? Obviously, part of it is about money. But if he wants to go on and be a serious boxer, you can't hold up your career forever in the hope of getting a Jake Paul fight. You have to keep progressing. And certainly these exhibitions are not going to help you. So you have to take your focus off Jake Paul and actually get you some fights that are going to develop you. That's what I'll say about the situation. Again, I hope it happens. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. If you're tired of the biased narratives and mass censorship on mainstream platforms, and you want to be part of a community of critical thinkers who love free speech just as much as you do, then come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide variety of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&As, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalogue of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got an Element group where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Unlike Discord, it has full end-to-end encryption, it's decentralized, and it's 100% censorship free. You can also send voice notes as well as much larger audio and video files than you can on Discord. So come and sign up on Patreon. There's no contract, there's no commitment. You can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So I'll see you over there. I'm out.